I'm pressing brand new bushers into the lower suspension, front suspension wishbone. From the last video, you can see this being considerably cleaned up. The other one's already in. They go in rather easily. You need to use a little bit of liquid soap. I'm just using washing up liquid as a lubricant, just to sort of ease the bush, because it's rubber, and yeah, we don't want the rubber chafing at all. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the arm, and I'll pop a little tiny bit just on the rubber itself. It's just literally washing up liquid, but it'll work perfectly fine. I don't want to use oil. There we go. Slightly messy. I'll just wipe my hands on a towel. Here we go. Let's just pop the bush in the press. For such a job, this press is complete overkill, and we don't need a press this substantial to press in these bushes. You can start, in fact, I can start it by hand. Ooh, but that's about as far as I could probably get it. But you can't just blast them in. With a hammer or something like that. They're hot. It's rubber on the edges. We don't want to be damaging that in any way. But the last one slipped in ever so easily. Didn't need a lot of pressure. Like I say to you, this tool is complete overkill, really. I'm trying to touch the rubber and the metal sleeve at the same time. There we go. That's slipping in really, really easily. And it does need to protrude the other side, about 5mm or so. I can feel it. I'm just putting my hand on the underside. I can feel it coming through. But it's kind of weird. As you shove it through, it stretches the rubber quite a bit. With the compression stretching, it's stretching the rubber. So I think that's about it. I can always push that through a tiny bit more. There we go, and that's it. There we go. Actually, it does need to go through just a little bit more. It's not quite enough. Where are we looking? Yeah, here we go. It just needs probably another 2mm to pop out of there. But because it's squeezed, the rubber's got to go somewhere, and it sort of squirts out the sides here. The rubber's gained at least 2.5mm in sort of width. The metal insert inside hasn't, but it's now overhanging considerably. Yeah, but I'm sure that's fine. But I'll press that through just a little tiny bit more, and I might even have to slice a little tiny bit off this with a scalpel just to get it to. I don't know. It'll probably press, but if I'm pressing it with my fingers. I'm thinking about when I try to shove it back into the mounting. We'll see. Maybe not. But they go in quite easily. So I've now got brand new bushers, and I just need to. I'll clean this down, and I'll paint this. I'm going to completely paint it, and I'm not going to reassemble it like this. I'll paint it a couple of coats. Now, there were two bolts here I showed in the previous video. I was trying to sort of warm this up with a blowtorch. That was a complete waste of time. I spent about 20-30 minutes trying to heat this with a blowtorch. It was so seized. One of the nuts had sheared off and left the stud, and the other one, it just all rounded off. There was no way of getting that out. So I ground the heads off and center punched them, and I tried to drill it, but it was quite a hard material and it kept breaking the drills. So I just sort of put this on the edge of the pavement. In fact, just left the studs standing down, and it took me about an hour and a half to drive them through. I kept turning it over, drive it one way, drive it the other, one way, the other, and eventually I managed to get them through. But they were an absolute nightmare. It took probably 90 minutes, I think, faffing about. So those bolts are completely destroyed. What that holds, let me just, it holds this is the shock absorber mounting, and then there's another piece that comes in here. I just bend down, it goes one way or the other. That holds the what's that called? The anti-roll bar So that goes in here. I'm working through a mirror backwards here, sorry. There we go, and that sits there. But I will need to buy new bolts. The ones I've that were in there were completely destroyed. But yeah, nonetheless, yeah, this is all out now. The bushes are pressed in, and I just need to paint it, buy 2 new bolts, and then I'm looking to reassemble. Obviously, everything else needs to be painted as well. So there's probably another 10 or 12 hours of cleaning down and painting to do before I can reassemble. But it will go back together looking brand new. Really rather pleased.